The best music for hard-working people. Get the job done with Radio.
And now your featured presentation.
Hey there, rockers! Welcome to Bands, the Good, Bad, and the Ugly with Dr. Dog on the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life. Your host, Dr. Dog, is locked and loaded. So let's do this.
Dr. Dog here, welcoming you to Bands, the good, bad, and the ugly, bringing you the ins and outs, ups and downs of band life. So let's get to it, let's rock and roll.
The song you just heard was Dark Room by Undurskin. And the Doctor's guests today are the legendary Moke Morrison and Andy Dawson of Underskin. How you doing, guys?
Yeah,
No problem.
Welcome aboard, everybody.
Awesome. That was a headbanging song, guys. Doc really liked that a lot. So,
Cool.
so tell us what you guys have been up to. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and tell us a little bit about Underskin. And the doctor knows, and I know the listeners know, you guys are a very, very busy band.
Yeah, we've been doing some gigs this year and writing new material. The song that you've just heard is the latest release that we brought out from the new album. Yeah, Dark Room.
Dark Room, that was an awesome song, guys. Dark Room was an awesome song.
It's the production and everything of the band's getting better. With us being a two-piece, it's quite hard to get across what we wanted to get across. We didn't just want like a distortion pedal going through the bass, and so we spent a long time getting our sound together. And I think anybody who's listened to the first album, I would say the sound and the production is so much more better on the second album. So we've released 2 songs off this album so far. It's going to be released, I'm looking at summer 24. We're going to get it on vinyl like we did with the last album, and obviously download and CD. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting out on the road next year and promoting the new album, really. So anybody watching who's hanging out, come and see us. You'll enjoy it.
Most definitely. But Dark Room was just released September 15th, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We're actually going to be recording a video as well for it.
Well, as with all these things, we keep it like roadblocks. So we just keep having to push the date back for when the video is actually going to be released and actually recorded as well. So,
we're kind of like, we've hooked up with a pretty cool guy. He's like a bit of a famous actor. He used to live over in California, and I did some work with him only about 2 months ago, and he said, look, I want to do your next video.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we'll keep everybody informed with that, but that's going to be for Dark Room. I think it's going to be pretty cool, the way he's described what he wants to do. He's wrote the storyboard out.
Just nailing everything down.
As soon as we get some more info on that, we'll be doing it. Hopefully we'll be released before Christmas, and we can carry on promoting, really.
Well, you just make sure you let the doc and the listeners know, but make sure you let the doctor know, because I'll definitely get you guys out there and promote that and let the listeners know that this is what's going on with you guys. So
that's it.
But you guys play a lot. You guys are always playing someplace, and that's one thing that amazes me about you. And your shows are always phenomenal, and you've got such a great following. But I want to step back for a second. Everything I've read, all the reviews, listening to your songs, for two-piece, you guys are incredible. So, and I'm serious. I mean, and Moke, how you do your bass and the guitar, and Andy, I know that Moke said that you're the genius behind things, and when you listen to their songs, just remember it's just 2 guys that's doing this, and it's not a full band; it's 2 guys. So that's the coolest thing of all. You guys are so unique in that aspect, and your music is just great. So that's all I can say about that. If I keep on going, I'll just repeat myself saying it's great.
Yeah,
it's great music. So
that's we're just trying to get better as we go. Like I said, but production wise, and it took a long time to get the sound how we wanted it to sound, because the first album was, me and Andy have been in bands together for over 20 years, and it started out as a project. And the first album, which is a concept album, it's a full story all the way through the album. It was literally written on our feet. So we didn't have, we had a direction, but not quite, solid direction. And we just did it, recorded it. It came out how we wanted it to come out. But like I say, this album, we've been spending the last 18 months writing this. So we do take our time when we're writing. And I think the new album has got a proper direction to it. And like I say, the production's so much better. And we've got bigger sounds, we've refined everything basically.
Well, like with anything, you find your feet as you go in, and it just takes a natural progression. And
Yep.
the sound just naturally like finds itself as well, and you fall into little bits that you think that's cool, let's keep that in, and it just goes in that way. So it's just like a natural evolution of sound and the production wise and things. So
Well, most definitely, a band has to keep revolving and evolving, I should say.
Of course.
And when you put out a single or an EP or an LP, and you listen to it, a lot of things come up into your head, like, well, maybe we could have done this, or maybe we could have torqued this up a little bit, or twisted this a little bit. Maybe we should have done this to get the sound a little bit deeper. But if you don't learn from your music after you've recorded it and listen to it and say, how can I make it better next time around, then you just stay in that same formula of like, well, this is just keep pumping the same stuff out and not change it and not make it any better, and just keep the same routine going. And back in the day, and I love the old music, but there's some bands that did that. They just,
of course,
it sounded the same song, sounded exactly the same, just different words and different little leads and rhythms here, but it was like you were listening to the same exact song. So,
well, we like to take risks. So when we write, I mean, like I said, this new album is quite diverse, really. Yeah. It's got some, we've always had a punky sort of sound and a metal. We're both into punk, we're both into metal. We've been in a punk band for years together, toured relentlessly, been over to the States loads of times, Europe. We've done everything in that band. And that's why this band was so much special. I've played bass now for, since I was like 16, but I've not played for over 20 years in a band because I took center stage in a band called Billy Club, which was our punk band with my brother. Yes. But I wanted to come away from that and enjoy playing again. So that's pretty much how we, got Undurskin back together. I just called him one day, do you want to do a project? And he's like, well, yeah. And seeing that we'd worked together for so long, it was just a no-brainer. So that's how we've ended up, doing what we do. So we have our rehearsal space and we just write on our feet, really, don't we?
Yeah.
But like I say, we're not scared of change. So when this new album comes out and you listen to it, there is some quite different stuff on it. I mean, the first album was like that because we were trying to tell a story, and you can't tell a story with all like heavy music and heavy vocals. If you're trying to tell some person that someone wants to love some person, you can't do it with heavy music. So the first album had to go, like a journey through the story. So that's why some people might get the album after listening to us live and think, what the hell's that? But you have to do that to tell the story. So we're not a band. We're not scared, are we? We'll dip our toe in any genre music and try and bring something to the table when we do it, basically.
That's what makes you unique, right?
Well, we hope so.
It does. And what you just said even makes it more unique, because it's like, well, the next album is going to be a little bit of this, maybe a little bit of that. But again, we go back to the same thing. If every song, every album that you put out sounded exactly the same, what's the point?
Well, that's right. It's true. Some bands are scared, though. If once they find a niche that they're sat in and they're quite happy, they're scared of coming out, and where we're not. I mean, if people didn't like it, well, you don't like it. But it's what we do. We like to adventure, and I think that's the way that you create, a buzz in the band. You've always got a buzz because the next album we think of something different to the last album, and I think that's the way forward. Still trying to keep that, theme going that we have through it, which is our sound, obviously. But yeah, we're pretty adventurous.
And sometimes it doesn't work as well. So you can spend like a full day trying something, and it's just a full day of absolute nonsense. And you've just got to get to that point and go, yeah, we've got to call this. This isn't working. So,
but you tried.
We've had a few of them.
But you tried it though, right? And then
of course,
if you hadn't tried it, then maybe that's always like, what if we would have done that? Would it have turned out? And so in life you have to try something to know, is it going to work or not, or am I going to get a yes or a no? Because too many people go through life, and I think a lot of musicians do, saying, well, down the road, what if we would have done this? What if I would have done that? And see, that's regrets, and the doctor.
I say you've got to walk down a road to see what's there. If you don't go down that road, it'll always be what if.
Well, you're
So,
right. And so
you
you
know,
taking chances and saying, listen, you know, we're taking the chances, and you're very few of the bands that do that. And I've, you know, the artists I've interviewed, a lot of them are that straight and narrow, which is good. That's their
yeah, that's
genre.
cool.
They found their niche, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones, and you probably know, you know, Nick Townsend.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like you guys. He's unique, and
Yeah,
same
it's cool.
thing. You know, with Joey, you guys are unique in a way where you stand out. You don't blend in with each other, but you stand out, and you're all legendary in that aspect. And so that's what makes your music the greatest, and that's what's going to bring your listeners and your fans and your bass in, because you're not the mainstream bullshit that's going on. So,
Well, we try not to be.
well, but you're not. And again, I've watched tons of your videos. I've listened tons of your songs, and you can tell that, especially in your videos and stuff of your performances, that you get the crowd going, and they definitely love you guys. So that's, to me, that's a plus. I mean,
No,
the energy you guys see between you two, that's another thing I always pick up with the band, because I've been playing since the 70s, and the energy that you see in a band reflects to the energy in the audience, which reflects back to the band again. And so you've got this energy pumping back and forth. But the energy, though, that the audience sees in the band itself, that you guys bring with each other, that ignites everything. That's like the spark that ignites the whole fire. So that, again, I picked up real quick that you guys, number one, click. You guys, number two, have this telepathic type of communication when you guys do play. Like, you know what each is going to do, and you don't worry about what each is going to do. You just do it, and it all works out.
Yeah.
Well, I think because we've been playing together for that long, we know it's like a safety net. We know no matter what happens, nobody's going to lose their head, and the head's not going to fall off at any given time.
Yes.
You're always going to just like make it to the end, you know.
Yep. That's it. I mean, that's what you want to have. So tell us, guys, because you've been doing this a long time, what is your relationship, and how do you think social media actually has played a role in getting you where you're at and connecting you with the fan base that you have?
Social media is, at this day and age, is everything.
Yeah.
You know, when I started out in the 80s, I mean, to try and get gigs, it was so, I mean, the kids of today don't know how hard it was to try and play out of your town. Never mind, national or international.
Yep.
It was like, unless, we had no mobile phones, we had no internet. It was literally, you got a phone number of a promoter, you called them up, and you tried to chat your shit to him to say, dude, give us a gig. And then if he said, well, yeah, I will, then you turn up. And, like advertising, I remember going around with wallpaper glue on the back of the flyers, sticking them on lampposts, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all good fun. But nowadays, at the touch of a button, I can send our music to Brazil, say, just, out of the sky. Or we have people over in Turkey that like this band, over in Australia, Mexico, all the countries. It's a great tool to have. And I think you need to, the thing with social media is it's a continuous battle, I find. You've constantly got to be on there daily, and some people just don't have the time. And it's hard for, the youngsters, they've grown up with it. So they don't know any different. They just do what they do. But from us, who are a little bit older, it's,
I'm useless.
It's like,
I'm not a technophobe in any way, but trying to keep up with social media and posting every day, I'm completely
It's an hard thing to do. I mean, obviously everybody goes on daily, but I mean, I go on daily and I always try and post something about the band if I can, if I've got something to post, or I'll repost something, try and keep it going, try and keep that, that buzz going. But again, with the music, if people hook onto the music and they like the music, then they'll be doing a bit of it for you. So they'll be sharing your stuff, liking your stuff, like yourself, you're always sharing our stuff, which we appreciate. So social media is pretty much everything in this day and age, I would say, And it's fantastic to have it. It's such a great thing to, God, years ago, to say that someone in Brazil is going to listen to your song.
Doesn't happen.
Unless you sent a tape to that person, back in the day, no CDs are out. You're not going anywhere. So now it's all a fingertip, and I think it's a fantastic thing.
And you're right. And back in the day, you either called, like you said, a promoter, or you called venues and clubs and, hey, you're looking for a band, and it was a lot harder. Or you was on the road a lot. You played a lot, because that's the only way you could build your fan base. Because
of course,
or you just rocked up to a gig that was happening and said, "Can we go on first?"
Yeah. Can we open for you, please? But then again, back then they had the underground radio stations, which helped a lot of the independent artists. A lot of the college stations back then played the independent artists because it was such new music and it was so different than the mainstream. But all that's gone. It's all gone. There is no underground unless it's on the internet, and FM stations and college stations play all the top music, and independent artist is basically lost. So the internet definitely is helped in that aspect, because without it, I don't know what the independent artists would be doing right now. I mean, if they had to go back and do what they did in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
They'd be freaking them out.
Oh,
well, I mean, we wouldn't be doing this if it's not the internet. Back in the day, it was a guy sat with you, he wrote it all down, and it went into a magazine.
Yes.
Now you can do what we're doing, a Zoom call, which, again, technology is fantastic. If used in the correct way.
If you use it in the right way. That's exactly right. And a lot of bands, like you said, especially starting off bands, even though they're technically more superior than person like the doctor at his age, and because I'm an idiot at this stuff, and I have a tech guy that helps me because I'm a total idiot because I don't understand a lot of it. But they don't know how to promote and do it the right way, and that's the sad thing, is that you guys are so smart, but you're not thinking when it comes to doing this with the social media. So
and it's mileage as well as a band, and I know because we're older, we've got a lot more mileage, and unfortunately you can't learn that. You just get that from gigging for years and decades and decades of gigging and meeting people and doing interviews and chatting. So again, you can't buy that. It's age.
It's like when somebody's in an industry that's worked there for 20 years, and then you have somebody come out of college with a piece of paper, and they think they're more valuable than the person that's worked there for 20 years. It's like, okay, well, where did they learn their, the experience? In a book.
Yes.
Where did this guy learn it? In real life. So who's more educated? You tell me, and so that's the thing. So, but you know what, guys, we're coming out with Kill Me If You Can by Undurskin.
Trouble until the day he went on the meds. Cruising through some chat rooms looking for some trouble. Boy, you wish they never met. Here comes Ali, makes him looking for some new love. She's the girl he watched about. Tony got to know her, now he's under her spell, but he doesn't want to get out. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me. Well led by drugs and money, he seemed to what she was about. But he got too close, now he's in so deep, he wouldn't know how to get out. Tying up the tie, rolling in the money, now the boss say this is tired. Looking to the future, pushing all the boundaries, you couldn't stop it and you tried. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill there on your back. If you're gonna beat them, nothing gonna stop them. You better find a gun and a face. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, hell will be your resting place. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can. Kill me, kill me, kill me if you can.
What brings your inspiration for your songs?
Again, like we're going back to, we kind of like, we write on our feet. It's like we meet up on a Monday and we spend the whole day in, well, Andy has a studio. I have a home studio. So we have it set up here and we kind of like just come in and a riff will start out and we just build the songs like that, basically. It's very rare that I'll write a song from scratch and go, here, Andy. Do you know what I mean? It's more built together sort of thing. And, you know, we'll do the verse and we'll see how that goes. And we'll go into a chorus and see how that goes, you know, build on it like that, basically. So that's pretty much what we do.
I mean, especially on the first album, well, all of the drums are the demo drums.
Yeah.
Because we never got around to re-recording.
No, and we had limited time on the first album. It was my old studio where I used to live. And it was literally meet up on a Wednesday and I'd say, right, Andy, I've got this idea. He'd smash through the drums twice and go, right, cool, let's record it. And so it was written on its feet when it ran.
Yeah, without doubt. So you know, when we were taking it out live,
well,
when we started taking it out live, we had to like go back and relearn all the
That's how we learned it all, because it was literally, I mean, even the new stuff, we record first, jam, we record, then we learn how to play it live, which sounds a bit backward and not your regular band thing, as most bands, like I used to be in bands, you rehearse, go out live. We don't, we write, record, then learn it, and then try and take it out live how we've done it. So it's a bit of an upside down thing, but I think, you know, again, it works. So
it works for you. So it doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter how you arrange it. It doesn't matter at all, but it works. So
as long as the end result's the same, what does it matter?
No, it doesn't. So when you guys do that, do you go in and start off with just playing, you know, the riffs and then do you add the lyrics in afterwards, or do you have lyrics in mind, or you just put them all together at the same time?
The thing with lyrics, the thing with lyrics is I usually do all the music first. What I do is to keep the flow going, because there's nothing worse than keep stop starting. So when we're jamming, to keep the flow, I just sing any old lyrics, and it's all about the melody line. Right. So you get the melody line down that sounds great with the music. Then I go away and I'll write a lyric to that melody line. And I've done that forever. And it's always worked that way for me. I've never written lyrics and then brought them down to try and fit them into a song. It's always been the music first, singing the melody, and I sing any old rubbish just to get the melody out. And he'll be like, yeah, that sounds great. Then I'll go away and write lyrics. So that's the way I've always worked, and that works for us. So, you know, it's all cool.
I think that'd probably be the easiest way to do it, because you have the music down, and the lyrics can flow a little bit more into the music versus you trying to put the music into the lyrics and make the music fit, which sometimes can be so much harder to do. Yeah. And so I hope you bands out there that are starting off and even, you know, wherever you're at, listen to these guys, because you may think, well, that's not the right way to do things, but you know what? These guys know the right way to do things. And if you listen to them, you don't have to copy what they do.
No.
But listen to what they're trying to say to you, and what they're trying to tell you is just like you said, do what's good for you. And build it off that way. But take that one lesson about putting the music out first and then bringing the lyrics.
I think also, you know, like when you've got singers that are just singers and not like musicians, they don't play an instrument, they will do it completely different. But because I play an instrument, right, you've also got to be able to sing and play. So there's another thing of jamming. So if I came down with a load of words and I can't fit them into my playing, then it ain't going to work. So that's another reason why, as a player, anybody out there who plays guitar or whatever and sings, you have to do it around your playing. And it's even worse in a two-piece band, because if I make a mistake, all the music side of it's made a mistake. So it's got to be, you know, like if a guitarist, it's a different chord list, the bass player's still with a drummer. Where if I do it, it's like the old band's done the same mistake at exactly the same time. So it's a little bit, so it has to be able to be played and sung at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And going back with the lyric writer as well, on the first album, because it was a concept album, there is a theme running through the whole album. So there is some sort of, this has to be this.
Well, it's a script. We wrote a script together.
Yeah.
So with the script, I mean, if you go on the website, Undurskin.com, you can read the script. One of my friends is a script editor. He edited it all for us. And then writing, it was easy to do the album because writing the lyrics, you've already got the story.
Yeah.
So you're following the story, so then you're writing the lyrics to the story. Where this particular album that we're doing now, the new album, is all like random songs. There's nothing that connects a song to a song.
Because there was a conversation at one point.
We're going to do another.
We're going to do another.
Yeah.
Concept
at first, we was like, should we be a concept band and do different stories? I mean,
and then we just started playing.
Yeah. And again, it's always been a bucket list thing for me. I have always, since being a kid, and listened to a War of the Worlds, which was an album that my auntie bought me when I was about 9, and I fell in love with it. And the gatefold, opening it up, and all the story, and the pull-out booklet. That's what created what we've done. Pretty much, copied that sort of idea. And I always wanted to do one. I never thought I'd do it as a 2-piece. I thought I'd do it as a full band, like Queensryche and some of the bands that have done it.
Right.
But doing it as a 2-piece was even more of a, it's just a cool thing to do, I think. And hopefully people out there, you listen to it, you enjoy it. You see that on social media also, and Spotify, all the iTunes and, all the rest of it. I haven't put the story up because it was really hard to cross over the scenes, because we've got like 16 scenes in between 15 songs. So the scenes were done by voiceover actors who came in and did the voiceover. But I couldn't get it out on Spotify and platforms because it didn't work to gel. It was because a song, you'd have to tie it to a song, then there'd be a gap. And because it all overcrosses, it all crossfades.
Right.
So people who are listening to it might be thinking, well, where's all you talking? Sorry, but I mean, you have to buy the album.
Right.
Or you don't get to listen to that side. The people who bought the album love it, and it does make a big difference when you listen to not just the music. It makes more sense, should I say. Like I said, on Spotify, people might listen to one of the soft songs and go, is that the same band? But if they was to listen to the concept album and it puts it in its right place, then it's right in it. So...
Do you think that with the first album, the concept album, and the theme behind it, how it follows, do you think that the listeners pick up that theme, or they just kind of just listen to the songs and enjoy them? But do you think they really understand the theme that's going on in that?
No, not if they've not got the album, because there's
right.
Kill Me If You Can starts with a little bit of a scene at the beginning. It's not the full scene. So you would be listening to it as a song, basically. Now, if they was to listen to the scene before it, the proper scene, and the scene after it when the talking comes in, because like I said, it's telling a story about two people.
Right.
And the lyrics all key in with the script. You can read the script. Like I said, if you go on the website, you can read the script, and there's no lyrics in there, but it's just the script. And you get an idea of what the story is. Then obviously where the song's going is where the lyrics take the story a little bit deeper and stuff. So for people who've not just heard the music, they won't get the concept. And like I said, I didn't want to spoil the concept by putting it out on Spotify and it not working. I don't see the point. So when we play gigs and we sell merch, people buy the CD or they come and buy the vinyl. And then you get a reaction off them. Then they say, oh my God, I didn't realize that was, like that. So maybe someday I might try and get it up on Spotify and try and get it to gel, but working with it, it didn't gel for me. And I just thought, I don't want to wreck what we've done.
No.
Just to get it up digital. Because if somebody likes the band and they want to buy the merch, then, you'll get to know the whole story. But like I keep saying, the script's there. So if you're into that and you want to read the script, and that may make you realize what's going on in between the songs, then, because the songs are all in the correct order on the album on Spotify.
Right.
So if you read the script, you'll see where the script comes in between each song. So you could do that if you wanted to.
So it all kind of fits together.
Yeah.
Tell us some of the key lessons you guys have learned all those years you guys have been doing this that you wish somebody had told you back when you first started. Yeah.
Stop hitting the drum so hard. Yeah. Yeah. So with this band, we started using in-ears, and when we used to go out on tour, I used to like really cramp up and get fatigued in my arms and stuff like that. As soon as I started putting in-ears in, I could hear what I was playing properly, and I just sort of loosened up on my playing. And it was like, why have I not done this years ago?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to pound a snare drum through the floor, you know, just like, you don't need to do that when you can actually hear it properly. So that's one thing. Get in-ears, they're dead good.
It's harder to gig with them because not every when you speak to venues, does the guy on the desk know what he's doing? Has he dealt with in-ears before? It's not just a matter of setting up your stuff, playing really loud, and he sorts it all out. That in-ear business. I mean, I'm kind of like, if we get somewhere and we can't get in-ears, for me, I just say, look, Andy, as long as he's got in-ears, because he's running all the samples, so he needs to have all the samples in his ears.
Yeah.
Because they've got the cues and stuff for him to do, and then he gives me the cues manually. So worst case scenario, he gets the in-ears, and I just don't have any in-ears, but I can listen to the drums. Yes. I don't really get to hear.
Because some places you can't.
As long as I can hear myself with guitar, like you do in a band, as long as you can hear yourself, I can play. But when we do get to the gigs and they've got full in-ear system, it's amazing. It's just like, when you go in the studio and you're recording, and everything's in your ears and you're playing along to it and you can hear it. That's exactly what in-ear is all about. And every professional band, from Metallica right through to, I don't know, whoever, they all use it nowadays, don't they? And I think it's, if you can do it, it's a must. It's not for every band, Some punk bands will say, well, we can not, They just want to play loud, which is great. That's what we did for years. You know what I mean? That's why we're half deaf.
Right. Well, I was going to say back in the day, I'm a drummer, so I had all the amps behind me. So I lost a lot of my highs. But I don't play with anything other than ears now because it's so much clearer. And for the ones out there that say, hey, we just want to play loud and we don't need them, F that, it's for the old people like, the doctor. But I tell you what, it's for anybody because it changes the sound so much. Cool. And like Andy said, it's especially when you're, a drummer, you hear everything so much clearer and you don't have to, replace your heads, especially on your snare every couple of weeks. Because you're putting big dents in them. That's right. Well,
again, that was an evolution with technology because when I started playing, it's just when we were playing small gigs and they just started releasing all the big amps like the stacks and stuff like that were available. Yeah. And the drums never got mic'd up on a gig.
Nope.
So you just had to beat the living out of them, just to try and get through.
Drums back then never got mic'd in venues and stuff. Never. I mean, you had mics for the singers and everything else got cranked up.
Kick. Stick one in the kick and that'd be it. You have to get that snare loud.
I didn't even get that. I mean, I just just like I did, like Andy did, I just played loud because the amps are cranked up and the PA was designed basically for the vocals and because like I said, we started back in the 70s and my band's been together since the 80s. So cool. It's a whole different world on how you play, even on tour and stage now. It's just so different than it was back then. Yeah. So what advice then, as far as speaking of what we are, what advice can you give to the artists and the bands that are just starting out, whether they're on the road or they're going into possibly the studio? Or they're just forming and they're deciding what do we do, what direction do we go, what music do we play? Because a lot seek the genre that's out there that they think is listening and selling the most, and they forsake who the band actually really is for the sake of, hey, this is what's making it right now. This is what people's listening to right now. So let's write and play like that. So
I think the biggest one is If you're not enjoying it, you're not doing it
I was
right.
just going to say that. Enjoyment is everything.
Yep.
And, don't try to be another band. Be your band. That's the main thing. There's not much more to say on that subject. No. 1, enjoy what you do. 2, keep a level head. Don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? On stage, do whatever you want. That's what people come to see, whatever it is you create. Off stage, be cool. Always be cool with your band members and anybody else, promoters and so on and so on, So yeah, there's not, that's pretty it.
That's pretty much it.
You can go on forever, but they're your key. Enjoying it is the main thing. And don't try and be another band. Be yourselves. If you like another band, bring an influence in. If your drummer likes a different band, bring an influence in. This is what creates new music from different, genres and people getting together. Because if you all like the same music and you come together, you're going to be that band that you like.
Yes.
And that's already been done. They're already selling millions of records, and so you're not going to do it. You're just going to be another one of them lookalike bands. I don't mean this in any disrespect to any band out there who does that. If that's your cup of tea, go for it. But I say, bring in different stuff and enjoy what you do, basically.
That's I agree. I love all genre. I love all music. I love all artists, just for the fact that they're doing something. Now, whether their music is great, good, or shit, doesn't matter, because they're out there doing something, right? Where how many musicians and bands will never do that, will never take that step. And the only way you can learn and get from, I don't want to say shitty, but say bad to really good is work, is keep persevering, keep going through. And
it's the same in anything.
But too many bands give up, just like in today's society.
Oh, yeah, of course, because people are impatient.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, the formula is you get a band, you go in a rehearsal room, you write a load of songs, you go in the studio, you go out and gig it, and that's it. Then you hit a brick wall. So you either crack on and do it all again, write another album, keep going out because you love it. That's why we've been doing it for so many years.
Yes.
The people that just want to do it and think it's going to come tomorrow, you're in the wrong business, because it ain't going to happen. You're going to, unless you're very, very lucky, where someone with a lot of money is going to promote you and get you a deal and do all these things. And that's 1 in a million. You know what I mean?
It is.
All the other bands like us, it's all about hard work. But it shouldn't be hard work because you enjoy it.
Yes.
It's work that you enjoy.
It's play work.
Of course.
And today's society, and especially generation, is that I want it now. I want it fast. And it's like, I don't want to wait. I want all the money, but I don't want to work for it. And it's like,
can I just say something to all the bands out there? If you're in it for money, don't bother.
No.
Money may come later, but do not think the money is going to come. A lot of bands play for years and years and years. They don't make any money, but keep going back to it. It's your hobby. It's your passion.
Yes.
That's why you do it. If money comes, better. Yeah, of course. And you can't stop. When you do stop, you only stop for a while. And then that little scratch that you can't, it itches you again and says, hey, let's do something else. And then you get another band and so on through time,
Well, it's almost like a piece of you is missing when you're not playing. And
of course.
The biggest, I never played for the money or the fame or where we were going to go. I played because I believed in our music, and I played because I love playing, and I can practice. And when I get off my kit, I'm just ecstatic. Just the energy I have and how I feel, because I love playing. And I think if everybody does that in a band, just does it because they love it so much, it'll come out in their music. And who gives a shit what people say and what they think.
Course. If you're doing what you want to do, keep on doing it. Don't let anybody bring you down. You know what I mean? Just crack on. Because all music is not everybody likes, a certain particular music. So you'll always get it. You'll always get them people, oh shit. But if you're doing what you want to do and you're enjoying what you want to do, keep doing it and don't let anybody derail the train. Just keep going.
Do you hear that, guys? Keep going. And don't let them keep you down. So speaking of that, we're going to have Groundhog Day coming up by Underskin. That's another headbanger, guys. I like that one. I really wish sometimes that we could hear the music when it's playing, because I'd be like, I have to hold my hat. I'd be going.
Well, Groundhog Day is
you know,
another new song. So
Yeah.
Dark Room and Groundhog Day, they're the first two to come off the new album. So you can see where the album's going.
yes,
You know?
yes, yeah. No, you can see
it's-
the music kind of vary and change, but but I still know it's you, and I know it's your music, but it's just changing a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
evolve.
one of my rituals before I do an interview is I put on my vinyl, and I usually put on the 80s music, 70s, 80s, and you can hear how, again, it flows from one tempo, and then the next song is a different tempo, and then the next song is a different tempo. But
It's a journey.
exactly,
That's how I look at an album.
It's
an
not
album
just
should be a journey.
it's not the same thing. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom,
you don't
boom,
want
boom.
it just yeah.
No,
So
no.
that's important. That's why it's good to write different stuff in it.
Yeah.
Slow, fast.
And I think that's why, just from what I've heard, your second LP coming out is just going to be phenomenal, because it does that just like your first one did. And I think now the listeners will understand more if they read that and they understand what the song's really about. They'll get more out of the song. So guys, make sure you do that. Number one, okay, because it's really important. And number two, your new EP or LP coming out is going to be just as phenomenal. But like you said, it's a change. And I think the listeners and your fans are going to really, really enjoy it. So,
well, we hope so.
what do you think that the biggest misconception that people have about band life and about being in a band, and also, being an independent artist?
Yeah, it's hard work. Full stop. But again, like I said before, it's fun work. So, you just keep going at it. Especially as an independent band, you don't have all the backing behind you. You don't have all the money behind you and everything else like that. If you're not having fun doing this, then you're doing the wrong thing,
That's it.
So,
like we said before, it don't come easy, does it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, a lot of people think, they look at bands and think, or they'll look at their outlook and think, right, what I want to do is rock and roll. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the reality side of it, it isn't as glamour as what you think. You get there to a gig as a punter, you drink your beer, you watch the bands, you've turned up, watch the bands, you go home. The band, if they've come from, 300 miles, they've set off at silly o'clock in the morning to get to the venue. They've had to load in, sound check, wait for the bands, play, load down, no drinking if you're driving, get back in the van. So it's a 24-hour thing sometimes.
Yep.
And people just turn up for that 2 hours and enjoy that, but they don't realize how much work in the background goes on that a band has to do. And that's why whenever I see a band, whether I think they're brilliant or whether I don't think they're very good, I always applaud, because I know how much work it takes to get up on that stage. And I'm talking from you buying your instrument, spending hours and hours and years learning your instrument, to then join another musician and do the same and write music and so on. So I always appreciate, and I will always applaud any band, whether they're starting out or not. And that's, I think all musicians should do that. Don't slate a band. Always give a band an helping hand. That's,
Well,
or
always.
at least give them helpful advice.
Or helpful advice, whichever way you can. If somebody asks, you give it.
That support, and I think more independent artists should support each other. I think.
Correct.
I think a lot of independent artists have their little clan, their little niche of other musicians and people they interact with, and that's great. Yeah, but I also think that whether you know them, whether you like their genre, whether you even know what kind of genre or music they do, if you know they're an independent artist, you should support them. If you see them on Facebook or another social medium, like them, share them, comment. Doesn't have to be some, large comment. Just say, hey, great job, keep it up. Yeah. Things like that help the morale of the band, number one. And number two, it shows that people really care, just enough to say, hey, good job, or this or that. And so I truly believe that that's lacking a little bit. Everybody I talk to always says, oh, yeah, it's always great. We support each other. And then I look on the social medias and I see how many comments, I see how many shares, I see how many likes. And it's like, well, who's supporting who here? Because I don't see it. And, other than your fan base, who's supporting who as far as artists, unless they're in your little circle. And I think that's wrong. I think we should all support. And I do that. I support everybody. I support especially the artists that are connected with MM Radio and but even all, if I see them and I'll invite them, I'll like them, I'll share them just because they're an artist and they're trying and they need that boost. A lot of people
it's not to press the like button, is it?
No.
I go down my feed and I like it, I love it, I like it, I love it. And that band think, oh, who's that band? And then they'll invite you to their page. They'll come to your page, and you're building a community. That's what it is.
That's what you want to do. Have a big community, not just a little one, but a big one to where you're giving maybe that band a chance for somebody else to hear them that never would have heard them just by one little click of a button by share. That's it. That's all you got to do. You don't even have to comment. You don't even have to like. Just share. So other people might have that opportunity to listen to that music and that band. And that would mean a lot to a lot of bands. It would mean it to you guys. It would mean it, to any other band that's out there for people to do that, because it just helps you get your music out, which you should be doing anyway, which you are. So, so out there, listen, independent artists, please help each other out. All right. Just help each other out. That's all I can say. So a lot of bands, and I think you guys are one of them, find themselves on the road, sometimes for an extended period of time. Sometimes it's a short time. Sometimes it's an extended period of time. So what are the challenges that you guys have faced and the aspects of being on the road? And then how do you get past them? I mean, you're on the road, you're doing what you love, but that's when you're on stage, and that's a short amount of time compared to being on the road or traveling, and staying in motels, hotels, or sleeping in the van or bus or whatever.
Like we went on tour, we did a tour once. We came over to the States in our previous band, and we did like a 21 day tour. We crammed 18 shows in 21 days, and people say, oh, it must have been great, you must have seen everything. It's like, no, you get up, you have your breakfast, you spend all the time in the car or the minibus, you drive to the venue, you get in, you play, it's midnight, you get to your hotel, you're back up at 10 o'clock, you've seen absolutely nothing of that town, and you get back in the car and you drive to the next town, because obviously they're 8 hours apart, or and that was a bit of a grueler of a tour we did. But again, for that moment you've got on stage, makes it all worthwhile.
That's it. It makes it all
people,
worthwhile.
I love playing in different countries because you meet so many cool people. And Europe's great for that. Europe's a really friendly, warm place to play in. We played a lot of places in Europe, met a lot of cool people, and we've stayed in some of the weirdest places ever. I'll just give you a quick example. We played in Brittany in France, and it was in the middle of a field. We had dogs on stage. It was just so funny, and it was a massive community. There was a cracking crowd, everybody enjoying it. And we stayed in a caravan in the woods. When I say a caravan, it was literally nothing inside. There was a pallet there, and no sink, no toilet. Now
holes in the floor, holes in the ceiling, just like, please don't rain.
And in the middle of the night, you just open the door and just have a piss out the door because nobody's there. It was pretty crazy, that, wasn't it? I remember it really well. And the night before,
I broke a rib.
The night before, we met up in Paris. We met up with the tour manager, Quarantine, and we went out on the lash, as you do, because we're like, yeah, come on, we're not playing till tomorrow. And he ended up doing a slam into the ground off his mind, broke a rib. We had to drag him through all the trains, the tube stations, back to where we were staying. He was a mess. Woke up in the morning, all his face smashed. But you know what? What a rock star. He sat in the car, drove 5 hours with a broken rib, and got on this stage. Like I said, there were dogs and everything, but it was one of the most funniest and ace experiences.
I don't recommend playing a set with broken ribs, especially if you're playing drums.
No, I was going to say, you had more, I think, balls, because Tommy Lee with Motley
Oh,
Crue,
he just thought, oh,
he breaks his ribs, and then he has somebody else playing for him. You just said, screw it, no hospital, no doctor. Let's just get on stage and do it, and
Yeah,
that's exactly what he did.
I'll figure out afterwards.
I knew from previous things that there's nothing really doctors can do with a broken rib. They just give you some painkillers. So I was just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Let's go.
That and wrap you up real tight. That's it. That's all they can do. So, so that's what you call a true musician and a true passion for music, is when somebody gets up like that, and especially a drummer with a broken rib or ribs. That's thumbs up on that one. That's all I could say.
And drink responsibly.
I don't know about that.
Well, at least especially before the gig. After the gig, it doesn't matter, because then you can fall down and break whatever you want.
This was 24 hours before the gig, so you'd have thought we'd have been okay. Yeah. But don't go to Paris and drink in the bars that we went into, these little punky rock bars. And we just all got hammered, didn't we? All of us.
It was my birthday.
That's what created the story.
In my defence, it was my birthday.
Yeah, it was his birthday as well. But again, it created the story that we're telling you today. So things happen, and
those are memories that you never forget about. You know what I mean? That they're just great memories at that time.
If I could remember it.
Oh man, I have too many of those. Too many missing parts. I think my brain is like the first Apple computer. It's just it takes a long time to reboot. So being in the spotlight at times can, it does bring criticism. It does bring negative feedback, and some bands get a little, some get a lot, and especially from the beginning, and then through their journey. It may change. I mean, the feelings of the music, of your listeners, of reviewers that don't know shit about music, that like to put reviews out there and write stuff about bands that they have no freaking idea. They're just somebody that can write. They have no music, intelligence at all. So what have you found about the criticism and the negative feedback, if there is? And then how do you process that? Because a lot of bands, when they get that, they'll either, F you, blah, blah, blah. They don't listen to it. Yeah. Some bands will just say, you know what, guys, we're not good. Okay. We get all this negative stuff. Nobody's saying anything positive. We love our music, but obviously they don't. So let's just stop. Let's just quit.
I'll tell you what to do with negativity. Scrumple it up like a piece of paper and toss it in a bin. That's, you know what I mean? That's the way forward. Don't even listen to it. You just keep doing what you want to do. People who, you get people who do like write-ups on a band. Well, if you're not their cup of tea and they're biased to what they like, then they're going to write you a shit review. Or they're going, I didn't like this band. Or they won't even give you a review. But again, don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you do because you love it. If you let it interfere in the band won't last.
Nope.
If you let them people in, that negativity in that band will fall out, split up, and on it. You know what I mean? So it's like, walking around with a shield.
Yep. Well, it's the three magic words you said. You love it.
Yeah, correct.
That's it.
That's it. It's simple.
Love it. It doesn't matter, again, what people write, what people say, and especially with social media, the way it is. There's a lot of cowards and shit out there that like to say stuff because they're not looking at you to your face, number one, and it's like they're anonymous, number two, and you can't reach through the screen and grab them, which sometimes you
they won't come to your show and say it.
No,
you know what I mean?
Hell
they
no.
won't stand there and say, no, they can't do that. They have to wait till they go away, and then. But again, we don't get a lot of negative feedback, really, do we? But if any that I can think of, like I said, scrumple it up, chuck it in the bin. That's it.
But see, that's good though, and that again shows the integrity of your music. When bands don't get any, or they get very, very little negativity comments, then to me that says you're doing something right. Yeah. Somebody likes your music, and you just keep going. So, but for the bands out there and the artists out there that do get the negative comments or the criticism, just remember, your music, what you produce isn't always going to be somebody's cup of tea, just like Mo said. But if you guys love it and you guys believe in your music, then crumple it up, like you said, throw it away, piss on it, burn it up, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But just don't think about it. Just go on and go forward. So
Keep positive. Always keep positive.
you always keep positive. Just
moving forward.
Drop it right on in that trash can. And so, dropping now from Underskin is Alley. Great song.
I'm going to have to shoot off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've got to get somewhere.
Andy's freelance and the job's just coming.
Yeah, I've got to shoot.
Well, Andy, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on, and we definitely understand that you're busy and that you've got other commitments.
Yeah, that's a shame, but, it's another thing I'd like to say. People have jobs outside of music, so when something calls like that, because Andy, like I said, he does freelance sound. He has his own, hire company for all the musical side of everything.
A lot of people don't understand that musicians do have other responsibilities. They do have jobs.
Yeah,
they just think that they just, that's all they do is just play music all day and then party all night and play gigs or whatever. They don't.
We wish.
You know what? I wish too, but that's not the way it really is. So, we were just talking about the negative feedback and the criticism and you know, I wouldn't, the doctor itself wouldn't believe that you would get any because of your music is so good. But I know when bands are on the road a lot and they're touring and they're playing a lot of venues like you guys do, mistakes get made. And sometimes they're little mistakes, sometimes they're really big mistakes. So when something like that happens, like you were talking about earlier, like if my guitar or my bass goes out, then the whole band goes out, except for the drums. You know, Andy's sitting there playing, going, "Well, okay, I'll do a solo." But so how do you handle things like that? And then how do you prepare? Maybe so, because you know technical issues can happen. That's sometimes just out of your control. You can't control mics going out or amps going down or boards going down or whatever the case is. But there's certain lessons that you learn when things do happen that don't repeat themselves again. So tell us maybe a little bit about it, maybe a couple or one, you know, really bad mistake that was made when you guys were playing, and then how did you guys handle that?
I mean, you see, I'm one of these, B. If you make a mistake, live is live. So if you dwell on a mistake, you're going to make it worse. So if you let's say, for instance, you go into the wrong chorus or whatever it may be, you know, you're playing something. The thing to do is live, carry on. Because by the time somebody stopped to think, did they make a mistake? You've moved on.
Yes.
Because the vibe that you're giving people in a live situation, me personally, I say don't dwell on it. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, you don't want to do that, but if it happens, I think the more professional way is you don't look at somebody, you know, if the bass player makes a bum note, what's he done? You just crack on, just do what you do.
Yes.
Leave him to get back in. And before you know it, that's gone, and live is live. And, you know, I mean, there was one time when we were playing and the power cut. So we got all the crowd there, everything, the PA went off the lot. And I was like, I turned around to Andy and I was like, dude, play a drum beat. Anyway, what does he play? We Were Rocky by Queen. So he just goes, bum, bum, da, bum, bum, da, bum, bum, da. Well, straight away I thought, yeah, I'll shout. So I started singing. And by the time we had everyone going, we will rock you. Anyway, you know, we played a little bit and then the power came back on. And I always remember, and it was pretty cool, really. The promoter came up to me after the show. We wasn't the main band on the show. And he came and he said, you know what, Mark? He said, that was so cool what you did. He said, to thinking on your feet so quickly.
Yes.
Andy, boom, boom, da. Everyone knows that song.
Yep.
And, you know, loads of people afterwards saying, that bit was great. It's like, yeah, the power went off, mate. So when the power goes, your drummer's the only person that can make noise.
Yes.
You know? So it was another little star for Andy there.
Well, that's just like improvisation. I mean, again, that just shows that he thought quick enough to say, well, what can we do? And that's brilliant. I don't even know.
That's just one of them things. It could have ended up where people just walked off. Oh, it's all gone tits up. We'll go and have a fag, you know, we'll go and get a drink. But he didn't. We kept him going, and it was only for about a minute.
Yeah.
You know, but they enjoyed themselves. Crowd participation.
Oh, I bet.
They enjoyed themselves. And afterwards, like I said, the promoter came up and said that was amazing. And it was like, well, it just happened.
But you know, I bet you a lot of people thought that was just part of the show.
Yeah.
And they didn't even think about, you know, anything happening. It was just like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. And then when the power came back on, then it resumed doing what you guys were doing.
On,
So that's that.
So So back to the question: don't stress. Do not stress on making a mistake. Everyone makes a mistake. Nobody's perfect.
No, and
you know,
probably 9 out of 10 people listening to you in the crowd aren't going to pick it up unless you, like you said, unless you make it noticeable in one way or another. But if you just keep going, they're into the music so much that they're not going to stop and say, well, wait a minute, that lyric was wrong, or that one note was wrong.
They're in the moment.
They're not
enjoying
going to pick
themselves in the moment.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Correct.
So new bands, listen, don't stop, keep going, act like it's part of the song, and just go on forward. And that's probably the best advice that you're going to get.
That's the
on
only
that
advice I can give.
Yeah, no, it is. And speaking of great advice, you know, here comes up a great track by Undurskin called "Gonna Make It."
cause he's the only one. If you ever know, you take it all away. A fighter's just begun, she's living day to day. We're gonna make it. Life is for the taking. We're gonna make it. Life is for the taking. You know I love you more every day. Let it win and it will take you away. I can't live without you by my side. No, 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 no. We're gonna make it. Life is for the taking. We're gonna make it. Life is for the taking. We're gonna make it. Life is for the taking. We're gonna make it. Life is for the taking.
Thumbs up on that one, guys. That's just hey, you amaze me, Moke. You and Andy just really amaze me for a 2-piece band. It's just like damn. And I think
I was going to say, like, when people listen to us, we were on a podcast once, and the guys were chatting away. These two guys chatting away, and they're going, "When I first heard this band, I'm thinking, where's the guitarist? Surely there's a guitarist." And that's because I spent so long processing my sound to make it sound like a guitar as much as you can on a bass, and not a distorted bass. It sounds daft, that, but like I said, if you just plug your bass into a distortion pedal, all you've got is a distorted bass. My sound, I have a YouTube video where I go through how I've put my sound together. So if you're on YouTube on our channel, go and check it out. And it's a case of I split my signal, so I have one signal going in, and I have 4 signals coming out. 2 of them are guitar, one's bass, and one's sub. And then I have volume pedals, so I can do stabs, and I can control the sound how I want to control it. And I think it's that if you was to come and watch us live, people are quite gobsmacked when they see it live, because we don't have a backing tape, we don't have a computer. It's literally Andy fires off samples and stuff. Yeah, he's doing that. And the rest of it is all generated live, which is what we wanted to achieve. Could we take it out live?
right.
And, we do, and hopefully people enjoy it,
But I bet you a lot of people that come and watch you live are really surprised just to see just you two.
Yeah, well, that's it. We get, it's funny because when we play, we get a lot of bands who enjoy the set. They watch me set up, and I'll do the sound check. And because I run 2 guitar amps left and right to get that thick sound. So it's because you're only playing one string and not a chord.
Right.
So to try and make a chord sound with one string, it was really hard. So that's why when I'm sound checking, the bands are like, "Oh, what's all them pedals? What you do?" And then when we play the show, they always come up and go, "Wow, that from a musician's perspective, they're always like, dude, that is phenomenal. That's how you've done that." And I said, "Yeah, it cost me a lot of money and a lot of time, but I got there in the end, and I achieved what I wanted to achieve."
What other musician do you know that does that?
Well, that's it. I mean, it's not. There's probably people out there that are trying doing it, but again, I don't look to. There's a band over here, what they call Royal Blood. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're a 2-piece. He's more. It's not like us. He doesn't play rhythms like me. He's more. I would say they're more like poppy. They're very successful. They've got a great sound, some great songs. I love the band. But when I first started mine, people said, "Oh, did you get your idea of Royal Blood?" And at the time, I was like, "I don't even know what Royal Blood is."
Yeah.
"Oh, it's a 2-piece." But oh, right. And then I went and listened to them and thought, "Oh, that's cool." You know what I mean? But I didn't get mine off there because my sound goes back to the 90s. I first tried to do this 2-piece thing back in 96. I come out of a 3-piece band, and the guitarist left, and I was so distraught with him leaving. I was gutted. Still stayed friends. It wasn't any bad stuff. I said to the drummer, "Should we go out as a 2-piece? Shall I try and do a 2-piece?" And I just didn't have the know-how and the technology back then to do it. I kept thinking, right, so like Billy Sheehan, I'm going to need 2 imports. I'm going to have to send one to a Marshall Stark and one to a bass rig. And anyway, it never came around. And it was only in 2004 when I started generating, different stuff. I used to have like a guitar pod, and I was splitting the signal a little bit, but not as good as what I do now. So it all evolved from back then, really. It was only 2016 was when I finally sat down, and I went through so much equipment, borrowing this, borrowing that, to see what sound I could get. And then finally I hit the nail on the head, and I went, "Yep, there we go.
There it
That is
is.
what I've been looking for the past, 25 years."
Right.
So
right.
yeah, we didn't mimic any band. It was always there on the back burner.
Well, it wasn't so much mimicking another two-piece band. What I was kind of getting to was what you've done with the technology with it and the technical part of your pedals and making them sound the way you do. That's when I refer to nobody else does it, because you're unique in that aspect. There's a lot of two-piece bands out there. And again, how they do it, that's their way. But you're the only artist that I know of that, like you said, it took you many years, many years to get to that point. But you did, and you didn't give up on the sound that you wanted and what you were trying to achieve. And once you did that, you see the outcome. It's like, we don't need another guitarist. We don't need this, because I can do it all through this. And like you said, it's not processed. It's not equalized so much to where it becomes a computerized sound. It's all generated live off of stage when you guys are playing it on stage. And see, I love that. I hate hearing a song and then watching a band live, and it's just like, doesn't sound the same. Why? Yeah. Because it's been so processed through the recording and the mixing that it sounds great on, when you're listening to it, but when you're listening to them live, they can't reproduce everything they've done in the studio, and there's something missing. And sometimes it's just like, well, it's not it's not as enjoyable, because the song, you get real amped as a listener, and when you pay to go to a concert or someplace, and it's just like, it was good. I want to hear, man, that was great. It sounded just like I wanted it to sound. That's what I want to hear when I go see somebody live. If not, I'll just sit at home and listen to it on Bluetooth or vinyl or whatever, and not worry about seeing them. So I think you and Andy have accomplished something that a lot of bands need to really think about doing a little bit more than they are, as far as making their music sound live as close as it does when they record it. And
again, I think that's down to what you do in the studio. I mean, if you're going to multi-layer and make this sound, if you can't produce the sound live, I mean, like I say, I don't want to put a diss on anything like, but when we go out live, because I've spent so much time getting my sound together, I've got a friend who came out with our last band, and it's like a merch band. He used to sell last shirts and stuff. And he's been seeing us about 3 or 4 times now. And the last gig we did actually until the week, he came and he said to me, he said, "But you know what? Live is so big, the sound, because we have the sub, Andy has the subs. It's taking nothing away from any other band. Right. But when you've got like your normal band, like we used to be in a band, and you've got your bass, guitar, your vocals and your drummer, all of a sudden we've got, samples that are giving these, you're filling in the spectrum where all the low ends there. So I love it when it rumbles and you feel it here. Yeah. So when you're playing something and it's here, it's just like a massive sound. And I'm quite, we're quite happy the way it's come out live. Sometimes it's hard because we get to places where the engineer doesn't know anything about the band. So I have to kind of like say, look, this is how I want to do it. I want one guitar left, one guitar right, bass and sub in the middle, please. And that's another thing. Always be respectful to the sound man. Yes. He is the guy. He's God. On that night, he is God. I'm telling you. If you piss him off, you're going to get a shit sound. So there's one from before. Always respect the sound man.
That's a good lesson. That's a good advice. Don't mess with the sound man.
And do you know what? A lot of bands don't do it. I always do it. I always go up to the sound man at the end of the night, shake his hand, and say, "Brilliant, mate. Thank you very much." Yes. And that goes a long way,
Well, that's respect, number one. That's just being respectful, and it's lacking again. A lot of bands don't do that. They think it's their privilege to run the board for you, and that's wrong. It's the other way around. It's like, man, I'm honored that you ran the board for us, because you did a great job. And
you made the sound how it should sound.
See, that's it, and that's another thing people don't realize, is that a sound engineer in the studio, an engineer when you're playing live, they're the ones that hear it, and they're the ones that have to make it sound like you want it to sound, but they have to hear it in their own head. They can't listen to the song in your head and say, okay, this is how it should sound. They have to have that intuition to know this is what it should sound like, and make it sound the best they can, no matter what genre or what bands out there playing. That's their job, to know how to make that band on stage right now the best.
They do it day in, day out at that venue, so they can create. You're just taking it up, and they're turning up what you bring. So again, it's important to bring the correct sound.
Yes.
When people turn up and, oh, can I borrow your amp, or can I borrow this? You're not going to have your sound. It's like, any cool, good musician that you see, he will have his sound, and he's had it forever, and he's spent a lot of time creating the sound. So why would you not want to take that sound everywhere you go?
Your amp, your axe,
so of course,
everything. I mean, you don't borrow somebody else's this or that and play, because, like you said, it's different. So
everyone has their own sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So during the time that you guys, again, because you guys again are on the road a lot, and you're recording a lot. So tell the listeners about things that you've encountered on the road. I mean, weird stuff, disgusting stuff that you're shaking your head and said, I can't even believe what I'm seeing or hearing or looking at. Give us a little bit on that, Mo.
I'm just trying to think. You get to a point where it's like a grey matters. Like we've done that many gigs that unless somebody sparks a conversation and you think, oh yeah, I remember that gig, it's hard to kind of like put it down to something really.
Right.
We've had great experiences. I played, again, when we came over to the States, I remember playing a guy's basement, and there was only like 40 kids there, and it was a house in the middle of nowhere. And it was like, when we pulled up outside, we were on tour with another band, I don't know whether you know, a band called Fang, and they're from up San Francisco way, and they've been around since the 80s. And we were on tour with them, and we pulled up to this house in the middle of nowhere, and I thought, where's the venue? And Sammy, the guy, he's like, oh yeah, come on. So you went around the back garden and had it all lights in the trees, and it was really cool. And I'm like, where are we playing? Right, come in the house, down this little stairs, into this like room, little stage there, sound guy at the back. And that was an experience that was one of the good experiences. We kind of like, everyone was sat outside, it's like, right, there's a band on, and everyone, God forbid there was ever a fire, because you wouldn't get out of there. It was like one little entrance, but wow, what a sweaty, amazing night we had in that, bizarre situation of this house in the middle of nowhere. I was like, we don't really get that over here much, in the UK. But the States, we played some crazy, cool, little quirky places. And again, in Europe, And as far as, that's the good side of it. Bad side, it's quite hard to, I'm trying to think of, we've had bad stuff where you can't, we were going to one gig once, and we were driving, the gig was like about 7 hours away. And we get halfway, and we got turned around, all the cops were there in the middle of the road, and there was a forest fire. And this was up, again, in the States. I can't remember where it was. And it were all on fire, and I'm like, wow. And I called my missus back in England. I said, check this out. And it like a volcano, whoosh, like that. And, right, you've got to do a detour. So the cops there sending everybody off down here. Anyway, we goes on this detour, and we're thinking, oh, God, we're never going to get to the gig on time now. And we did a detour of 120 miles through all this forest and everything. Anyway, when we came back onto the highway that we'd come off, the funny thing was we'd only done 20 miles. So it took us 120 miles to go 20 miles if the fire weren't there. We got to the gig, we were late, trying to set up. These are the things that you can stumble across. You can't control the weather. You could have a blowout, you could have anything like that. And that was a bad situation. So, it could have been worse if we'd have been 10 minutes earlier. We'd have probably gone into the fire because the cops wouldn't have diverted us. Right. So in one respect, it worked out well, but 120 miles, man, to go 20 miles, I was gutted. When we got back on, one of the American guys who was in our van, He said, fuck, we've only come 20 miles. I'm like, shit, 2 hours later, and we've come 20 miles. So, yeah, we ended up at the show very late, and they weren't too pleased. But when we told them what had happened, they were like, okay, it's cool. So, yeah, there's two scenarios, one good, one bad that ended up good sort of thing.
The good and the bad. There you go, guys.
Yeah,
There's the good
exactly,
and the bad of it. But it's always a memory. Even when it's bad, it might be the worst at that point. But as you go down the road and look at it, you end up usually laughing over it. I mean, at the time it could be like, this is the worst thing ever. But 6 months or a year down the road or years later, you're talking about it. You just laugh, say, yeah, this happened to us. And you just laugh it off. That's all you can do. So you just have to keep rolling with it. That's it. You just keep going and don't, like you said before, don't think about it too much. Don't analyze it too much. Don't bring it in too much. Don't overthink it. Just say, hey, that's the way things go, and go forward. And we got one spinning at you. Now, Die You Will by Underskin. I'll kill you. You die. You won't see me. You won't hear me. You'll die. First few seconds when the bullet bites, chaos as you hit the ground. People will not know what's going on. Frantically they look around. I disappear like smoke in the night. Sirens is all you can hear. Then pass me by as I head for my car. Simply my job is done here. I will go and raise my glass to you, knowing that I've done my job. You will die, you fucking will. I love that one. I love that one.
Let me just shut the door.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all, bud.
Yeah, Andy runs a rehearsal room and studio, so the band's just turned up to start rehearsing.
It's all good.
So
I mean, it's all good, but it's all good
it's
at
all
all.
musical.
Yeah.
It's all part and parcel of the music.
Yeah. That's it. It's all part of music. So Moke, tell us where we can find the information for your music, your videos. Where's a link that people can find your live performances, where you're going to be at, the dates, and then also
Yeah.
your merch. You got
Yeah, of course.
albums out there to sell, and if I'm not mistaken, you said vinyl.
Yeah, we have vinyl.
And saying the doc, I'm a big vinyl collector, so a lot of vinyls coming back, guys. So tell us where we can find again your music, videos, your merch, and then a list of where you're playing.
So basically, we try and channel everybody to the website. So Undurskin.com, you go on there. There's pictures of gigs we've done, performances. All the videos are on there. There's a shop on there where you can mail order everything out to. I mean, at the moment it's more UK because sometimes the postage to the States for a vinyl, it's just not worth spending that. You're paying twice as much as you're paying for the vinyl just to get it over there, which is unfortunate. Because the vinyl that we've done is a pull-out, it's a double vinyl as well. So it's a heavy vinyl. So when it's a package, it's quite expensive to send. But again, we channel everybody to our website. So all the gigs, I mean, we've just taken a break at the moment till next year for gigging to get this video done and to complete the album. We've got one song to still record, which we're in the middle of, running up to Christmas, and then we're going to start getting out doing shows again. But all you got to do, Facebook, we're always pushing stuff on Facebook.
Yes.
That's the main platform that we use. But again, everywhere always says Undurskin.com. Go on there, you can find everything out about the band and the album that we did, the new stuff. All the information's up on the website. So that's the way to go.
So you heard that, guys. Undurskin.com. Now you know where to go. You know where to get that merchandise. You know where to get that music. Definitely check them out because they are phenomenal. And the doctor's prescription to all of you is 3 times daily. Make sure you're listening to them because they're phenomenal. So the doctor wants to thank Moke and Andy for joining him today. I mean, I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. And I again am honored to have such a legend as you, Moke, on the show. So thank you again so much. Also, the doctor wants to give a big thanks to Dogbone Studio, Radio, Magpie Sally, and the Doc's Guru Tech, Matt Rustin, that keeps me on the air. So Moke Morrison and the Doc is out. Everybody take care. Keep on rocking. Be kind to each other until I see you again next Friday, guys. Take care.
Bands, the good, bad, and the ugly with Dr. Dog. On MMIMM, the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life.
To infinity and tastiness with MM Radio.